Is that working? There we go. We are live streaming. Let's go post this on Twitter real fast. Okay. All right. So we're just gonna work on the thing I was working on last night, which is the session management, because session management is kind of screwy right now, and it needs to be robust. Because like you can log in once, but then you can't. If you log out, then you can't log in again. I don't know what that's about. I started working on some what I think might equate to fixes, but hello, Havzer, how's it going? I probably should have ate lunch before I started this. Oh well. Um, that's all right. Come on. I'm trying to bring the demo over. All right. Okay. So here we have, this is like the basic test page for this. So we can try and log in. Oh yeah. Right. Okay. So I want to do two things. The first thing I want to do is actually create a test user with a test password. The other thing I need to do is actually enable debugging. Okay. Debugging is now enabled. So if I go over here, okay, let's see what's going on here. I want to just inspect the current state when we refresh the page. So this session, let's look at the globals here. Cookies. There are no cookies. All right, because I deleted the cookies. All right. So if is expired. Wait. This cookie name, cookie token. Why? So we're going to probably create a session here. And what context are we? Context is false. Why is context false? Globals. Route context is not set. Curious. Oh, right, because we're constructing this. Okay, this is kind of actually irritating. Auth should come after route context. Yeah. Okay, now this should work. Okay, let's go back and refresh. And let's listen in, of course. All right, now this context is true. Okay, so basically, you can't modify headers or like you can't modify cookies with XHR requests. You can only do it when the page refreshes. That's like a thing in your browser now. It's like a security feature. And so what I'm waiting for here, the reason I moved the auth to after our route context is because the route context determines if we're like doing an API call or if we're like actually loading a web page. Go ahead and ask, Hafser. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. All right, so let's go. Right, okay, so this makes sense. So we need to determine which routing table we need to load. So we get our route context. And then our auth is going to be, yes. So let's go back to our current session. And we're looking up here. All right, let's continue through looking up our database stuff. Okay. So this token is going to equal that. And then this expiration. Let's skip that. And then go back here. Now, this is where we were running into issues. U agent equals wait a minute. Get user by ID session. And session is going to be null. Okay. If user is null, then the global session is going to be null. Okay. That's what we want. Now, let's go back and we want to be logging in our user. So let's be checking this and we'll start the login process here. Before I do that, I need to I want to create a user. So let's go. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually go into my API debug stuff. So that's going to be down here. Because I don't have a process right now of adding like user accounts. I just copied my other one. If app, I don't remember what that one is. And then we'll do routes, route, get, encrypt. All right, that is going to work. And then we'll go into our core API controller and create a function called passwd. And it's going to accept a password. And the password algorithm that we want to use, I think, is going to be bcrypt. I don't remember what it is. I think it's bcrypt. All right. So I'm just going to do this. This is a simple. I could have just done like PHP and you know what? We don't need this. I don't know why I'm doing it this way. This is the wrong way to do it. I just did it in the CLI. So I have a password that I've encrypted. So if I go into Mongo, which is the database that I like, I can modify my user account that I have built in there. Wow, what the heck am I doing? All right, let's use... So I'm not going to show this because there's like password hashes and stuff. DB users update 1, and then we're going to do set p word to that, and that should be good. Of course, I missed. Dang it. Okay. So now we should have all right, that's looking correct to me. So now if I go back into, let me bring up the live stream again. What did you want to ask, Hafsir? So we are logged in. Now what we want to do, we want to try and log in now. So let's do this. Right, you have to be on HTTPS. That's built into my thing. You have to have HTTPS in order to actually log in. So let's go ahead and do, I think I did a test user, and then the password is just test. Okay. So we have our headers here. And our credentials are going to be yes. So that's the username, that's the password. And this is just base64. Like, it's not encoding it, or it's not encrypting it at all. Base64. I was reading about the authentication header, and I thought that would be an interesting way of actually logging in. Just using that instead, rather than posting it. All right, so let's see. Now we're going to do login user. So let's go down, drill down into here. So we're going to check our username, our password, our stay logged in is false. So UA is going to be user account user. What am I planting today? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Get user by username or password. So let's skip over that. We have our user is going to be, yeah, we're good. Now UA. Oh, is it because gardener, like a gardening? Okay. So if user is null, throw a new unauthorized stock message. But the user is correct, so we're not going to do that. Password verify. Let's check and see if the password is correct. And it is. So now the result, this session login user. And so basically the way this works is what we want to do here is login user session. So we're going to log in the session here. So basically that means that in the database, we're going to set the user ID in our database equal to our current user, right? Because basically the way it works is that I want to be able to log in via HTTP or through XHR, like fetch requests and stuff, but you can't set cookies that way. So the way I'm doing it is it's going to log you in through a separate request, and then it will. So result is true. So return success. Now we go back here and it logged us in. Look at that. All right. That's what we want to see, right? We're logged in. So now let's check the log out process. This is not what we want. Session destroy is not what we want. So what I want to do here is actually go back into here and search through here. Send session cookie is expired. Send session delete. I think we just want to delete the cookie. And then, yeah, that's what we want to do, right? We want to, first we want to do this. Wait, yeah. Send session delete. And then send session destroy. Because what we want to do is we want to delete the session cookie, right? Which is basically we take the current time and we subtract a day from it. And then we want to destroy the session, which means we want to delete it from the database, right? There's no way to really check if the browser has like actually honored the cookie that you sent. the cookie creation or deletion. So we have to just kind of adapt to that. So basically, there's two functions here to log out the user. We're going to delete the session cookie, right? And then we're going to destroy the session from the database. So we're going to remove the session. And we're going to set the current session to null, and then we're going to delete. I don't know if we need to send the session delete. I think that should happen if we want to if it's expired. If this is needing refresh, and then we'll do this update token. So let's go back down here. Is expired. Function is needing refresh. And we'll basically copy this, right? But instead, let's do refresh. We'll do day. Because I want to refresh the tokens every day, right? Right? Is that correct? Yeah, that should be right. And then update token, if we're in the correct context, then we want to get unique token, update it, and send the session cookie. Yes. Cool. Now let's see about logging out. Because so I want to double check. So all right, I'm logged in to my database. Let's use member. All right, so this is the list here of sessions that I've created, and if the user ID is null, then then the user's not logged in, basically. And then we have two dates, and we have persistence is true. So basically, and this is going to change because these should definitely be encrypted and like read like a password, so that if someone gets in here, they can't like spoof. Mern. Is that what Mern? What is Mern? I don't remember. So let's find this token in here. What am I doing? Search DB sessions find token session. All right, so here we can see that my user ID is logged in here. Yes, Mongo Express, React, and Node. I don't do anything in Express, React, or Node. it's all PHP and JavaScript for the front end. But I do like MongoDB a lot. So here's my session token. Here's my user ID. And so if I have, let's see. So now that I have this, let's log out. So we're going to dig down into here. Wait, what? Oh, I didn't save it. Dang it. Okay. So I did get logged out. But logout user sending a session delete is not going to work because we were logging out via. Yeah, I just use vanilla.js. I don't do any frameworks or anything like that. I find them tedious. Okay, so now if I refresh the page, see, here's the thing. We've deleted, we should not be deleting on session destroy, right? We should be updating one to remove the user ID. All right. That should do it now. So here's what we should be doing then. If the token value is null, right? The token value. So, okay, there is a token value. So we have, this is different. Oh, this makes me so mad. Dude, like it's so hard to debug sessions in Firefox now. Firefox is pissing me off to no end. This is why I've done the last couple of videos about new browsers or other browsers. Yep, we're going to do Edge from now on, or at least for right now. Members.heavyelement.io. All right, let's open this up. Let's go over to its application over here. And then let's go down to cookies. So we have a cookie set, okay? Copy the cookie value. We're going to close this because I'm done with it. I'm done with Firefox right now. It's pissing me off to no end. So let's find this session here. We have the session. Now let's log in. Test user, test. All right, we're logged in. Now, let's go back and run that query again. Whoops. And you can see we have a user login, user ID. Now, let's make sure we've saved this. Current session. Destroy session. See, destroy session should not be destroy session because that gives the wrong impression. Yeah, this is getting weird, but I'm just going to log out, see what happens. Okay, unexpected end of JSON input. Why? Network 500. Oh, because get delete count isn't a method. No, it's modified count. Oh my gosh. Is get modified a method on an update 1? I can't remember now. But we should be logged out now. Correct. Now let's try logging in again. Test user. Test. Hey, there we go. Now it seems reliable. Okay. Why are we destroying a session for log? Oh, we're logging out. Duh. Try one more time. And I'm not even going to listen. And let's log out. Wow. Look at that. Yeah. All right, let's try it from the actual login form then. You're already logged in. Sweet. The Barty party. What did you say? I didn't get to see that. I'm kind of I don't know. I find myself like just annoyed by like other developers' weird decisions. So, and then I find myself annoyed by my own weird decisions down the line. So that's why I don't use frameworks. I like to do my own stuff. I feel like Node and Express is like cool, but at the same time, I don't know. The only reason that I would like, I've considered moving away from PHP, but I feel like I'm really well versed in PHP, and I know vanilla JavaScript pretty well. But I tried doing a bunch of stuff in Express, and like it really bothered me that there wasn't like a DOM. Like you couldn't like create a page in the DOM and then send it to the user. It was weird. Oh, I don't know what it uses. It seems like its own. It seems like it's using whatever Chrome uses for its rendering. So we can log out. We can log in. Nice. Nice. Okay. Why did that logout should No, yeah, quick and dirty. That yeah. The problem that I have with JavaScript is that the syntax gets so muddled so fast. Like this. Like this gets like really screwy really fast, and callbacks and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't know. I prefer PHP's more sane syntax. The only thing that I don't like is like these pointers rather than doing dots, like for addressing object properties and methods and stuff. And like prefixing everything with the $sign. Like that is just ugh to me. Like if you didn't have to prefix everything with a $sign, and if you could use dot syntax instead of pointer syntax for objects, I would be a much bigger fan of PHP. It's to the point where I've actually written a dot syntax interpreter for some things, like for the templates that I use in here. Yeah, giant code bases in JavaScript sound like absolute hell to me. So here's what I've realized about this is that the only time that we want to be updating our tokens is when we're in a web context, when we're loading up the page again. So I've created a context variable, and it is either true or false. It's a Boolean. So if we're in a web context, then this is going to be true. And then we check if the context is false, and if it is, then we're gonna abort updating the token. And if it's not false, then we can update the token. Yeah, JavaScript is cool, but like, and PHP, like PHP has a horrible reputation, but like that's when you're doing stuff like PHP, like some of its reputation is well earned. Like doing stuff like this, just like inline PHP, and this isn't even a great example. Yeah, this right here. So we have our PHP tag, and then it closes, and then we go to a form, and then we do PHP implode, right? And then we do script, and then we like, going in and out of a PHP execution context is ridiculous. It's how you end up with spaghetti code. It's bad news. It's bad. It's slow. Like doing it that way, everything about that is wrong, in my opinion. That's why I created this, so that basically you have a single global execution entry point. So like when you go to one of my web pages using the Cobalt engine is what I'm calling it, it loads like it no matter what. If it can't find the file in your web root, then it will execute index.php. And what this does is it basically just loads environment.php or env, right? So environment equals this. If the file exists, actually this should be die rather than exception, but otherwise we're going to require the environment. Okay, now we bring in environment. Basically here we set our environment root and we set our app root. So our environment root is going to be in the core directory here, and then the app root is going to be in the member directory. And this is so that I can, while I'm developing, I can keep my like the core code base separate from the project's code base, right? And it does have a couple disadvantages doing it that way, but it's fine. It's fine. Then we're going to import our like base stuff. So like functions like helper functions and global exceptions. Then we're going to import our autoloader, and then we're going to define our Cobalt autoloader, right? So this is going to be like for vendor stuff, like Composer. And then our SPL autoload register is going to be for loading the classes that we have built. And the nice thing about this is you can have classes in here, and based on their namespace, like if their namespace is exceptions HTTP, then we'll look in exceptions HTTP in the classes folder for that directory. And if it's not in there, then we actually reference this, which I don't think is necessary. I think it's kind of redundant, but that's how I was doing it originally, was like adding the class names to the directory list, to the class directory. But I think that's dumb now that I've thought through it and found maintaining that to be a real hassle. So then we're going to instantiate our settings, right? So we're going to load our settings file. We actually have multiple settings files. We're going to have config here, and that's going to have like our definitions for our settings, which you can actually see over here. And like this is going to like have like keywords, like merge. Actually, I think that should be a $sign now that I think about it. But anything that starts with a $sign is going to have like a method in the settings class that will like carry out some kind of operation on the thing. So basically, like these are the defaults here for like the fonts, right? And I have these specified here so that like you can use them in other contexts. Like if you're going to send emails, then I want to be able to have like your default colors, like your body background. If you're going to send emails through here, I want to be able to like specify the background color of your email and such. Anyway, so each of these is going to do something different. So merge is going to allow like you to specify in your settings file fonts head and then inherit body and stuff like that. We have our packages here, and like packages is going to be like the JavaScript packages. And once like if you're not in debug mode, then this all gets compiled down and minified, compiled, babbled down. Yeah. So we have this, and then we also have like the untracked settings, which has like database passwords and stuff in it. And then, so that's not going to end up in your Git repository. And then we're going to have like the regular config file. And so the nice thing is you only have to specify things you want to change from the default. And that's why I did it like this. So you can see auth enabled is true, but if I set this to false, then you can go over here and you can see why did that show up? Why is that there? It shouldn't be there. Of course it's not going to do it now. Why did that change? Whatever. Oh, I think it's not that one. If I do false, I think there's another setting that actually hides those. Yeah, 404. The route wasn't found. That's the problem. All right. Hello, Fluffy Cloud. How's it going, Fluffy Cloud? So if I go into setting definition and I go down to, what is it? User menu enable. False. And now we can go here. Now there's no user menu. I mean, cool. Yeah. Anyway, that's not the final look of it, obviously, but boop boop boop. So what's next? What's cool? What's good here? So anyway, so now what we're doing here is we load up all of our settings, right? That's the next thing that we do. So we have our settings manager, and it's going to load all our settings. Then we have our context. Now this, the context is going to be, if we're searching for, it's going to be based on our current URI. So you can see here we have our APIs, right? These are our API routes. So we have default and shared. This is going to be handled by this processor, and this is going to be the prefix of our URI, so core content. And then we have our API handler, and this is going to be if our URI starts with API v1, and then webhook is going to be for that. And so this is the name of the context, right? So shared API v1 and webhook v1. How am I? I'm pretty good. I'm doing all right. I decided I'm not doing a video tomorrow. Or I guess I'm not doing a video today for tomorrow. Just not feeling it today. Like I was like looking at news stories and I'm like, I don't want to talk about any of these. So, but the nice thing about this here is that we have our API handlers, right? And you can specify any prefix here. So like I actually created like a web shared handler. So like there's shared files that you can like control access to in the code, which I'm actually really excited about. Okay, so now we have our route context. So then we bring up our authentication, and this is going to be based on our route context as well. So the authentication is what we're working on today. And then we're going to set our context processor. And so this is going to be based on these, right? The default's going to be the web handler. And if the current route isn't web, then it's going to be set to whatever this is. Because you see here that there's no, I probably should just have it be like web or whatever, but I don't have it that way. And I don't know why. I think it's just easier to do it this way, like, because I can't imagine there being a use case to not have like actual like web pages, you know. But the nice thing about this too is that like when we go to load our routing tables, which is going to be, where's our router table? It's going to be here. We're going to get our routes here, and then we're going to use our web, like we have web, and then we have shared API v1, webhook v1. And so those are going to be like all of the routes for those are going to be specified in our routes file. That's not it. It's going to be here, routes. So you can see we have API routes here. We also have the option to have API routes here. These are going to be core routes. So these will be based on like the settings. Like, so you can have logins disabled, which will disable the API endpoints for logging in and out, or just not have them accessible. Let's see, what else? Yeah, we also have like, you can get pages, like the main content of a page via the API, which actually is like a really cool, it's like a really cool option. Because I plan on adding links that allow you to, like, when you click on them, they don't refresh the whole page. They actually like look up the value, or like they look up the main content and then replace the main content. Because you can see like in here we have the main tag, and that's going to be our like the content of just that template. And this will actually, if you do the page thing, like you'll notice that if you click login on the login page here, and then that's going to be the exact same content as this, because we're actually running the, if we go to network and we go to route login, you can see that we actually have, we're calling API v1 page, and then the route is login, right? And so we're getting that main content that's all processed, and it has like all the stuff in it that was already in our over here in our template. Which is errors, authentication, login. So you can see, there we go. And the other thing is we have no login, right? Which says you can't log in. And that's based on if you're in HTTPS or not. Login, right? But then if you also are currently logged in, you're going to get this instead, right? So the template loader is intelligent enough to say if it sees a login.session.html and you're logged in, then it's going to grab the login.session.html rather than the login, which is a nice little time saver. Yeah. Because that lets you like specify different page content. I've been thinking about like how I can do like a for each in these HTML things, because it would be simpler, because like right now I'm like doing all that kind of processing in the code, but it would be nice if like I could just do like for I as item, item dot thing, and then and then come down here and do and for, and have like input name equals I dot name. Right? Wouldn't that be nice to be able to do something like that? So like whatever's in between these two gets like loaded as its own separate template and then looped through based on whatever item dot thing is equal to. For I of item dot thing. And then you could also do for I val, and then you would do like val dot name. That would be cool. I'm trying to figure out like, because you can already like in this you can call like, you can do like JSON encode, and then you can do like a whatever app dot public or whatever, and you'll actually like write, it will echo out the result of this function, and if the string starts with a $, it will replace it with whatever's in the template variables. Anyway, it's fun for me. I don't know. I want to figure out this syntax before I actually do it. Because if we do like at for and then end for, there are templating engines for PHP, but I want to write my own because it's challenging and fun. There's like Blade templates, which actually have like really great syntax and it's well supported. And I've thought about using Blade templates, but that's what I think. That's what I think about that. I probably should just use Blade syntax, or Blade, whatever they're called. Yeah, I mean, that's like, you can see here that this is like what my syntax looks like. I'm basically using like mustache syntax, right? But then you can also use what I'm calling tic tac syntax. And the thing is, like, you can have this, and that'll like escape any characters, like any HTML characters. And if you have an exclamation point in front of the variable name, then it will actually embed it without escaping the characters. Yeah, I'm writing my own, man. Like that, I wrote this myself. The renderer is like something I'm really proud of, actually. Like the template processor. If we go to classes, and then we go to render. So I wrote all of this, and it's, I mean, it's like 57 lines here. Yeah, this is pretty straightforward. Basically, we parse for our variables. Let's walk through this real fast. Because the way you call this is you would actually do, so let me find an example of it being used here. So in web handler, okay. So we're gonna have our down here we have process, right? So we have our renderer set to this renderer, and we set our body equal to template body, right? So we're just passing the string that we've generated here, which is usually the entire HTML document, unprocessed. And we set that to the renderer's, we send that to the renderer's set body method. And then we set the variables that we want to expose to the renderer using set vars, right? And then we execute it. And so basically, if we go back into there, we can see that when we set the vars, we're literally just setting equal to that. And then when we set the body, we're setting that. I don't remember what name does. Name is the name of the template file. Oh, right. Yeah, I'm not doing that yet. I'm working on like actually adding debugging. This is Codium, or it's Code OSS, which is in the Manjaro repo. So then what we do is we where's the execute here? Execute. All right. So basically we add our stock variables, which allow us to have like, our stock variables are going to be, where the heck are they? Stock variables are going to be like get and post super globals, session variables, and something else. Oh, the settings, right? So our stock variables are going to have a bunch of like stuff that's going to be accessible in any template, no matter what. Then we're also merging that with our variables that we have passed for this specific template from the renderer or from the controller. So then we execute. So we've done that, and now what we're going to do is we're going to match our variables. So we're going to parse for vars, right? And basically, this is just a preg match, right? A regular expression. So we have this variable, which is going to be this regex, and then we're going to like match it against our body content, and then we're going to have our matches stored in match, and we return that back to execute. So we store our match variables here. Then our mutant is going to be where we actually loop through our vars and replace them, right? So replace vars down here is going to search for and then get replacements for, and then it's going to do a single string replace once we have our strings, our search vars, and our replace. This is code OSS. This is not this doesn't have the Microsoft telemetry in it. So here we have, so we're searching through our replacements here. We're looking for the things, because the values of the replacements are actually going to be in like JavaScript dot notation. Yeah, this doesn't have the Microsoft telemetry in it. I don't use the VS Code. So right, so we have our name here, right? And our name is going to be the name of the variable. And then is inline HTML is going to be false. And then we're going to check if the first letter or the first character is a exclamation point. And if it is, we're going to remove the exclamation point and then set our inline flag. Then we're going to do, if it's not an inline HTML, we're going to set a replacement value at the correct index to our HTML special card escaping. Otherwise, we just set it. Yeah. Right? That makes sense. And then we're going to string replace. So these are going to be both arrays here. Both of these are going to be arrays. And then we just string replace them once. And that's actually super fast, especially compared to like if you were to use like PHP the way it was like written, where you're doing like I showed earlier, where you have like you're going in and you have like an HTML document and you're going in and out of like PHP execution context. It's like that is so slow. I don't know the difference. I just know it doesn't have the Microsoft telemetry. The other thing is like when we process our variables, we're like, if it's an array or a Boolean or an object, we're gonna encode it. But you can see I'm doubting myself. Yeah. What am I building? Right now, I'm actually just kind of like walking you guys through like what I've built here. This is like my own CMS kind of thing. It's my own like web engine, kind of like Laravel. It's a little bit like Laravel. But I'm writing it myself basically. And I do a lot of like web work for clients and such. And, basically I'm trying to build like a really nice, way of quickly like templating out like pages, getting styles and XML requests or XHR requests. Just building, like, I want to be able to build a website like that. And I'm working on this to facilitate that. And I'm probably going to end up porting Hello Story over into this, because this is a much better engine than what I was using. I hate Bootstrap. I hate Bootstrap, my dude. I can't stand Bootstrap. No, this is like, see, this is the thing. Like, Bootstrap pisses me off because it's like, there's a lot of reasons Bootstrap pisses me off. I'm not even going to go into it, but basically, this is like a what you see is what you get kind of thing. Like, you have your HTML templates, right? So we have our body here, and these are special tags that get processed by the web router, by the web context processor, and so we have like our app settings, right? And that's going to get like added by the web context processor. And we have our meta, we have our routing table, we have our header content, all this stuff. The only one that's special here is main content. Main content gets loaded after the rest of these get inserted. So main content goes here, and main content is going to be basically every other template in here is going to be added to main content unless it's like one of these specific ones. So we have our renderer.html. So all of this content is going to be placed in main content. And so it allows us to like template out a page very quickly. And anything that, so like the templates are going to be like searched from the app roots templates and then from the templates here. So basically you can build a website real fast and then, yeah, it does screw with CSS. I hate it. I really do. I can't stand it. Yeah, what was I saying? I don't remember. I'm lost now. I don't remember what I was saying. Anyway, my head is kind of hurting, so I think I'm going to end the stream right now. Thank you for hanging out with me, though, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah. This is going to go up on GitHub pretty soon. It's not available yet on GitHub. And it's also going to require MongoDB. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Have a great Sunday. Oh, thanks, Barty Party. Yeah, once I get all the documentation finished, I'm gonna like put it on GitHub. Will it be multi-DB? I don't know. Maybe I should do that. Maybe that should be something I should do. To have like just, yeah, maybe I should do that. I don't know. I know you can get like Laravel to be multi-DB, but at this point the only DB like that I'm really super comfortable with is Mongo. But I probably should make it multi-DB. We'll find it. We'll see. Thanks, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.